Hi, I'm Jordan Boriack, and I'm going to be taking you through my packet plan here for Mullen High School track and field with athlete Augustus. As we go through the program here, a couple things to note. These are just our general hours of training. We have just general track and field guidelines, so it tells you a little bit about the different phases of our training that we go through. An opening letter and contact information, reminder of key things for performance, and then we get into our athletic profile. So here we have Augustus's profile, gives us a good background of where he's been and what he's trying to achieve this year, and also tells us a little bit about his prior injuries and what we could focus on in training, and his current PRs, and where we'd like to see him at the end of the season. So this is needed. So when we see Augustus in the weight room, we know what we should be looking for and how it could benefit his performance. So we go down. We have injury analysis. So these are the common injuries for sprinting and track and field. Again, Augustus has hamstring issues, so we will be incorporating a lot of these types of lifts in his programming throughout the year. With the warm up here, each day on the athlete's card, it'll tell them what warm up they need to be doing. Here is it outlined. Each movement is done for 20 yards. Take you approximately 10 seconds per movement with 10 to 15 seconds of rest in between each one. All right, so this is high school track and field, so they're going to be training as a team together. So by the time everyone goes down and does their first warm up, they'll be in lines. By the time the first group turns around and comes back, it should be about 10 to 15 seconds of rest in between. Key things here to note are that movements start out slow and less complex, and we go to our faster movements, right? So we're giving the body enough time to warm up, create greater blood flow, perspiration. And another key thing is that it's in all planes of motion. So we have forward, side to side, back. Also, these incorporate a lot of timing and rhythm, which are important for track and field. And since it is in season for spring trimester, they'll be doing a lot of their specific acceleration and speed work in practice with their coaches. These warm-ups will incorporate some fundamentals and basic acceleration stuff, which will be good for them to do as review. But as far as their specific stuff, that will be happening during their practices. For their specific warm-ups, we could see these done in order with only transitional rest in between them. Um, Many of these are with partners, so they'll have a little built-in rest with them, but these are just going to be general movements, and they're paired with the days in their programming that focus on more of these movement patterns. And those will help them warm up. Recovery will happen each day. Again, this will be noted in their programming. Each movement is held for 30 seconds, and you go twice through. Stretching afterwards is really important for flexibility and mobility. But also, we only have about an hour 15 each day. And we're not training to be yogis here. We're training to be athletes. So while we do want to stretch, it's not going to be the main focus for our workouts. Uh, we have our warm-ups or our workouts here. Each day we'll start with our multi-joint, highly technical movement, and we'll go into our strength, our accessories, our core, and then on Wednesdays we'll have our plyometrics. Again, we only have about an hour 15 each day, so we try to cram in as much as we can, but we also have to be realistic in what we could get done. If you look at the top here, this is where we noted our pillars of strength. And at the bottom here, these are our recovery days. As we go through the term, you'll see the strength movements get paired with other movements of other dynamic movements, and they'll go from 2 movements together to 3. So we're getting progressively more intensity out of them here because we want to peak by the end of the season, right? While we don't want to add tons of volume, the volume will stay low. We do want them performing better as the season goes through, right? We don't want to come to state championships and we've been doing all this low intensity workouts, right? We want to have them peaking and getting better throughout the season. You'll notice that our plyometrics will also get more advanced as we go through. Here's our annual plan of what we'll be doing through the entire year. So I'll give you an overview. You can see when we're doing testing. Our methods page will break down more specifically on what we are doing during those times and how we're going about it, the methods used. Energy system demands for track and field. We know that it's going to be high on the phosphagen system, and the glycolytic also will play a role. Oxidative, we won't be focusing on that. With the 100 meters, most of it's going to be phosphagen system. These are more precisely other things that we're going to be doing that can be seen in the methods page as well. There will be some hypertrophy in the beginning of the year. Movement analysis, so these are going to be our common movements in sprinting and how we are going to address them and what muscle groups we're looking at. And then we have a few notes on nutrition. In high school, nutrition is very important. Well, in all aspects, nutrition is important, but I see a lot of times high school athletes not knowing a lot about nutrition, and here we give them some basic guidelines that we'll be talking about more as we go through the year, and hopefully our nutritionists on staff will also be touching on them. But these are just some reminders for them to include in their packet. And then we have hydration, and then that's going to be our end of our packet for them. So this is a good guide for them to carry around, and also for administration, so they know what we're going to be doing throughout the year and how we're going to go about it. So thank you for your time. Let me know if you have any more questions. Thank you.